Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to a fascinating, absolutely stunning, unprecedented, historical moment in cannabis markets. Bruce Linton getting curbsided by his erstwhile major league sponsors, Constellation Brands, unceremoniously, indisputably curbsided.
Like that's
Tossed out like yesterday's news.
How much notice did he have to give?
None. Dropped him like a hot potato.
Is he getting a package?
A package? He's going to get a package, all right. I don't know exactly what those circumstances might be, Edwin.
Sure.
I suggest that probably no one does, but guaranteed that Constellation Brands consulted with their in-house counsel prior to parting company with Mr. Linton. Now, here's the question of the day. We're taking bets here. Who wants to bet that Bruce Linton planned to get his ass fired so he can now blow out all his stock, right off into the sunset, and enjoy the lifestyle to which he has formerly not quite been accustomed, but is now going to be? We're taking the money. Who's got bets? 20-1, 20-1. What do you say? This is sheer speculation on our part. We're not to be trusted.
You don't know.
You don't know. We're talking through our ass here.
Yeah.
Nobody would do that. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's a bit one-sided.
Has anybody ever really talked through their ass? Like,
hello, Edward? You know, that's an interesting question. And on that note, I would like to show you an email I received from CDB Projects.
Right.
And I haven't quite seen this suggested as a delivery mechanism yet for CBD. But if we could cut to my email, there it is. CBD repositories.
What?
Do they work?
what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Never mind under the tongue. Never mind up your nose. Never mind in your ear. Stick it up your ass, Batman. How do you think of that? How's the CBD working for you?
How my prayers have been answered.
Boy, that's so relaxing. I'm so relaxed right now.
Oh, and
all I want to go is do have a dump.
Maybe the fun part's the insertion.
Or the exit, which would be more.
Anyway,
I don't know. Who's going to, what I want to know is who's going to say, you know what, I feel like doing some CBDs today. I'm tired of smoking them. I'm tired of the sublingual thing. The transdermal patch thing is boring the shit out of me. I'm going to stick it up my butt. Yoo-hoo! Can you pass the Vaseline,
now,
please?
is there sort of a magic distance that needs to...
Well, I'm pretty sure that now that they've come out with these, they're going to come out with a suppository gun so that your partner from across the room, in an effort to assist you in inserting said suppository without, the unnecessary dirtying of fingertips, is just going to stand across the room with a suppository gun and ding, boom, got one. Like
at target practice.
Yeah. And next thing you know, you're walking around all happy ass and shit.
Happy ass.
But seriously, what the hell is next?
What's next?
CBD suppositories? Like, what do you got going on? That's the only way.
THC suppositories?
Well, why not?
Jesus.
I know, but, I can see where...
I'll tell you, I've heard it all.
Anyways, we have a really interesting show for you coming up. Obviously, we're going to talk in depth about Bruce Linton and his departure from Canopy Growth. We're going to talk about what it means that Mark Zakulin is now at the head of the ship. Does he have any stock? Is he sufficiently incentivized to hang around, or is he just a placeholder for the next Constellation Brands insertion? We shall see. We don't know. Like I say, we're not to be trusted, and. So Fraser Toms is going to read the news. Merce Fraser Toms. Andrew Grieve, the CEO of Zenabis, is going to talk about their $30 million capital injection from Tilray subsidiary High Park. George Cruz joins us from London, England, live from London, England. He was live when we were there, but we're not there anymore. Now we're here, so it's not live. It's pre-recorded. But he's got a company called 45 CBD, which is founded by two rugby pros, and Yeah, he's got a great story. Patrick Morton, we talked to him in London too. He's the incoming CEO of Supreme Heights. Now, Supreme Heights, does that ring any bells? Connote any possible intercorporate relationships?
Right.
We don't know. And we haven't decided yet whether we're going to keep talking past 4 o'clock because we've kind of gotten used to this beautiful summer day. 4 o'clock rolls around. We've been talking for an hour. Maybe we're going to get the hell out of here, try some of these CBD suppositories for ourselves, and go lay down in the park. You know, we could do that. We might do that. How do you feel about those suppositories, Ed? Is that something you would try?
Did you say go down and lay down in the lay? Yeah, I don't know. So, really? Like?
No. Let me ask you this: would you try one?
Like a suppository?
Yeah, a CBD suppository.
Yeah, maybe. For instance, if there was a sort of a dual-purpose suppository, let's say, maybe it was like an X-Lax thing plus, you know.
A dual-purpose suppository?
Dual-purpose.
So, like,
yeah, well,
X-Lax and Relax. But my question is this. I'm just curious. Now, who invented this method of drug delivery? That's what I want to know.
look, you just don't have to.
I don't understand what's so funny here. And this is serious medicine.
So let's say you get some ailments, right? This way, you maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, or you could make it multifaceted. You could have X-Lax, Relax.
And relax.
X-Lax, Relax.
First X-Lax, and then you really relax.
Really relax.
There you go.
Here's Fraser Toms with the news of the day.
Hey everyone, and here's what's making cannabis headlines today. Canopy Growth Corporation announced that Bruce Linton will step down as co-CEO and Canopy board member. Mark Zakulin has agreed to become the sole CEO of the company and will work with the board to begin a search to identify a new leader to guide the company into its next phase of growth, which will include both internal and external candidates. Rade Kovacevic, a long-serving member of the team currently leading all Canadian operations and recreational strategy, will assume the role of president. These changes are effective immediately. According to Bruce Linton, who called into CNBC News, quote, "Stepping down might not be the right phrase," end quote, referring to the language in the company press release. Mr. Linton has said he was terminated. Further to Canopy Growth Corporation's press release, today Bruce Linton has also stepped down as chairman and director of Canopy Rivers Inc., effective immediately. Nutritional High International announced its financial and business results for the third quarter ended April 30th, 2019. The company reported a net loss of $3.1 million or 3 cents a share. Nutritional High's Q3 revenue was reportedly $6.2 million with a cash and cash equivalents ending balance of $1.8 million. CannTrust Holdings announced an update on its outdoor cultivation operation in British Columbia and its first shipment of capsule and dry flower products to Australia. After the purchase of its first 81 acres of land in British Columbia for outdoor cannabis cultivation, CannTrust applied for Health Canada approval to plant and cultivate on the land. CannTrust estimates 75,000 kilograms of cannabis could be produced from this property in 2019. As CannTrust has yet to receive its Health Canada permit at this stage of the growth season, it is now estimated that production for this operation could range from 0 to 15,000 kilograms in 2019. If a crop is not planted by August 5th, 2019, there will be no outdoor harvest this year. Last week, CannTrust also completed its first shipment of CBD, THC, and 1-to-1 CBD, THC vegan capsules and dry flower products to Australia. These products will be resold by its partner Canatrek Limited to medical patients in Australia. Agriflora Organics International announced the company has been awarded a license from Health Canada under the industrial hemp regulations of the Cannabis Act at its flagship 2.2 million square foot Delta greenhouse complex. The company's full-spectrum industrial hemp license equips Agriflora with immediate cultivation, propagation, nursery, and product formulation manufacturing capabilities. CO2 Grow Inc. announced it has entered into an agency marketing agreement with North Carolina-based Henry James Innovations, LLC. The agreement accelerates the commercialization of Grow's patent-pending CO2 delivery solutions in North America and globally. The AMA allows Grow to leverage HJI's mostly U.S. marketing and sales team to initiate CO2 delivery solution trials and commercial pilots with HJI's customers. Revenues from commercial agreements will be shared between Grow and HJI, with Grow receiving 55% and HJI receiving 45%. And that's your cannabis news for today, folks.
And this determination of Bruce Linton. Now, you notice there's a pattern in our industry right now where all the founding guys who are like big characters are slowly being basically assassinated one by one.
Right.
We saw Brad Rogers unceremoniously curbsided from CanTrust, and the result, a boring company with boring prospects, not even an outdoor grow this year. We saw let's say Sean Dollinger terminated unceremoniously from Namaste. What do we got now? A quiet company with some things going on, but we don't know what. Who else have we lost to?
I'm sure there's been lots of...
Terry Booth has taken a back seat relative to, and Cam Batley has been put forth. Obviously, is the more corporate face of the company now. Who else? Like, this is just a trend that I'm seeing.
Yeah, you seem to have covered them all, but there's probably others.
Well, I could go on, but let's not do that.
Let me try and get in there. Who do I know?
Now, because we are who we are, we like to talk about what's actually happening behind the scenes.
Yes.
And so I think that as highly prized as my relationship with Bruce Linton is, I'm going to test the solidity of that relationship by toying with some, rumors and innuendo that we've heard and see how his threshold of sense of humor is.
Right. Are you thinking of giving him a call?
Well, I've been texting with him all day. It's only been one-sided.
One-sided?
No response. So this is why, I guess if I'm only going to be ignored now that my use has been, I've been terminated too. Through Bruce, I've been terminated.
Yeah, you have. You've been terminated sort of vicariously, but I'll be back.
I'll be back. So we're taking bets. Who thinks that A, Bruce is going to disappear from sight, never to be heard from again, a la Vic Neufeld?
Yeah.
Oh, there's another big personality that got curbsided. Is Bruce going to B, appear at the helm of some startup cannabis deal in like Europe somewhere because he's all about not being in Canada?
Right.
C, is he going to take up the reins of a certain technology company that he's still the chairman of?
Really?
And become a tech guy? Yeah, he's, I can't remember the name of the company.
Martello.
What? Martello. There we go.
Well, you just have to sort of think it, and then it sort of comes to you and you yell out, what? And they repeat it back louder?
This is the essence of being a man who communicates with the Lord in certain ways.
Yeah, just, you're connected to the universe.
Yeah, through my suppositories. I relax, then I X-lax. Oh no, it's X-lax, then I relax.
Yeah.
And then I inhale. Jeez, that is just so going to give you an indigestion there, Ed. Anyways, we have a guest, and the guest's name is on the teleprompter in front of me, but unfortunately the text is mirrored. Thank you. God has just intervened.
What you should do is get a mirror and look at it backwards.
Like this way.
Yeah. But look over there.
Anyways, I had a conversation earlier with Andrew Grieve, CEO of Zenabis, and here's that conversation.
Big transaction.
I'm joined now by Andrew Grieve, CEO of Zenabis Global Trading on the TSX under the symbol ZENA. Andrew, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Andrew, point of interest in the market is your $30 million non-dilutive financing by a Tilray subsidiary, High Park. Curious to understand, how did that come about?
That came about because we had an existing relationship with Tilray where we were selling them product, and we went to them and asked if they would be interested in purchasing significantly more product on a prepaid basis. They completed site tours of our facilities to confirm that they were confident we could deliver that supply. And upon completing those site tours, they came back and they said yes, and we got a deal done very quickly.
Wow, that was quick. What specifically, in your opinion, was it about Zenabis's operation that attracted Tilray to you guys as a partner, as opposed to the vast array of companies out there they could have chosen from?
They already had confidence in our ability to supply quality product because they'd purchased product from us in the past. And then in addition, they went to our Atholville facility. They saw that we were essentially complete from a construction standpoint. They knew that from a licensing standpoint, we'd already achieved the vast majority of our licensing objectives there in Atholville. They knew what we'd submitted from a licensing standpoint. They knew that that volume was more than sufficient to cover the obligations that we agreed to from a supply standpoint. And then on top of that, they visited our Langley facility and saw that we were near substantial completion on that facility, saw that we were ready to submit from a site evidence package standpoint, and we're very confident in what we put forward in terms of what we would be able to produce from that facility.
Sure. Interesting. How much cannabis is $30 million worth on a prepaid basis?
So it isn't actually covered in the release that we put out. And the reason why is because they can choose from a few different formats that we could provide them the product in. It's a meaningful amount of cannabis in terms of the amount that is available for purchase, but it's not all that significant relative to our 2020 total capacity. So our 2020 production capacity is going to be at least 130 tons based on what we're nearly finished building out. And so this is not a very meaningful commitment relative to the available supply that we have for 2020.
Sure. So presumably, Tilray would be incentivized to undertake this because you're offering them a discount to the market price of cannabis. And not being in the press release, I don't expect you to tell me what that formula is. But is this, and it doesn't represent a major portion of your total production, which is great to hear. So my question for you is: does the discount that you gave to Tilray, is that something that's going to be determined as a fixed number over the life of the supply agreement, or is it something that is fluctuating relative to the given cost of cannabis at any given moment where they take delivery?
No, it's a fixed price agreement.
It's a fixed price agreement. Okay, so then that presumably means that it puts a floor price on your cannabis sale price on a wholesale basis going forward, which is an admirable position to be in.
I think that you should expect that there will be other companies that are looking to us to provide wholesale cannabis going forward. We have a management team that in the past on the Bevo side provided contract cultivation services and continues to provide contract cultivation services over a wide variety of products. And our intent is to continue to provide contract cultivation services, not only on the propagation and floral side of the business, but also on the cannabis side of the business. And we're always interested in engaging with partners who want a fantastic contract cultivation team to work for them and work with them in order to supply product.
Sure. So you're now coming up on 660,000 square feet of total cultivatable area. And is it your intention to, and then you've got as well 2.5 million square feet of greenhouse as well. Do you anticipate having all of that in production at maximum capacity in 2020?
From a production standpoint, we have the funding to complete the 130 tons at the moment, which is the first 10 acres at Langley, as well as the completion of our Atholville facility. Our perspective is that there will be additional customers who will come to us over the course of the next 6 months and will want us to continue to expand that capacity. And we'll be ready to expand that capacity in order to meet demand either from provincial counterparties or from wholesale counterparties who want us to produce for them on a contract cultivation basis.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's That's an incredible achievement, I would say, just as an objective basis. What else have you got going on in Zenabis? I'm just curious because it's been a while since we've talked, and while you've pulled this amazing thing off, it makes me want to hear what else you have planned.
We have a lot of other things planned, and I think we've communicated that we intend to have a full suite of products upon legalization of edible and beverage products. We are also working on a variety of other partnerships and transactions. We're always working pretty hard in order to get things done. I think that you can also see some interesting updates in our latest monthly update. So we noted that in May, we outperformed relative to our design capacity on a cultivation basis between 10 and 60% per harvest. So versus the actual design capacity for Atholville that we published, we're actually producing significantly more cannabis than the amounts we indicated. And then on top of that, we started planting hemp at our other sites that previously were just used for floral and propagation. And as a result, we'll have a significant amount of hemp that we'll be harvesting starting in September as well, where we're actually utilizing downtime in our floral and propagation business in order to ensure that we have crops in those facilities and using the land there continuously. So that's just a few of the things that we've been up to recently, and you'll see a lot more from us over the next month and over the next couple of months.
Sure. Are you currently selling any of your branded products in retail environments across the country anywhere?
Yeah, so we are currently in 8 provinces and 1 territory. So we have distribution arrangements with British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, with retailers in Saskatchewan, with Quebec, with PEI, with New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and then with the Yukon. And we will be listed with Shoppers shortly as well. And we, of course, are working hard to ensure that we're in the final 2 provinces because we want to be a true national supplier of cannabis.
Mm-hmm. And what about for your international ambitions?
From an international standpoint, we have signed agreements and LOIs for distribution into Europe, Central America, and South America. And we're working hard to ensure that we can be shipping cannabis from our facilities in Canada to Europe in the 4th quarter and getting sales out the door into Europe quite quickly from a medical cannabis standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So Europe has opened the door to imports of Canadian cannabis on a recreational basis, medical basis, or both?
Medical basis.
Just a medical basis. Okay. So is your output EU GMP certified?
By the 4th quarter, we will have output that we believe will be able to go to the EU through an EU GMP certification process.
Okay, so that implies that your greenhouse and your indoor cultivation facilities observe good agricultural practices according to the EU standards as well?
Well, I can't say that our greenhouse facility does so at the moment because that facility hasn't commenced production.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that my statement implies that, but I would say that my statement implies that in the 4th quarter of 2019, we'll be shipping cannabis to Europe from at least one of our facilities in Canada.
Okay, that's reassuring to hear because many people say we're going to export to Europe, and I ask them about EU GMP, and they say, oh, you don't need to worry about that. In which case, I think, okay, maybe yes, maybe no. So refreshing to hear. Okay, well, you're doing a great job, Andrew. Tell me, what is the big milestone out there on the horizon that investors should look to demonstrate that you are in fact achieving your goal of becoming an international branded producer?
I think from an international standpoint, shipments to Europe is a meaningful component of that. So that's a significant milestone that will really demonstrate our capacity to be an international player.
Okay. Andrew, that's a great update. We're going to leave it there for now and come back to you in due course. Thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Ed, has been rearing its
Yeah, look at it.
price.
Shows up all over the place.
This gold here.
That's gold.
This gold. So we went out and bought some gold today. And what do we got there? 200 ounces? What's that's
Yeah, a
worth at
couple
today's
of ounces.
price?
You know, maybe not too much. Maybe 400 grand.
400 grand?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
More or less?
Canadian.
Give or take.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Gold bugs have been long suffering in this market. I mean, I think
Yeah.
price of gold topped 1920 back in September 2014, was it?
11.
2011.
11.
We had this conversation once. I was wrong, you were right, so I'm
Well,
going to go with
you know what?
And since then, it's backed off down to below 1100 in some occasions. When was the last time it was at 1440?
1440 was about last night. It was a nickel below 1440.
Last night. I mean, before that.
Okay, so about 8 days before that, but it's
Okay.
bouncing up. No, but about 7 years.
7 years since it's been trading at these levels.
7 years. We've got a nice 7-year base. Okay.
Now, so all of the long-suffering investors in the gold space.
Yeah.
Here's the real tragedy in this is that they've all been suffering so long in junior golds that they said fuck it, I'm going to go put my money in cannabis.
Right.
And so now they put all their money in cannabis, and now they're losing their shirts in cannabis just as the gold price starts to return. Is that poetic justice, or is that
Woe is
the
me.
cruelty
Under
of the universe?
under the title, woe is me.
Woe is me. The universe does not care about you.
You know.
Long suffering.
Did you ever read Lil Abner when you were younger? The comic.
Lil Abner? No.
Yeah.
No, that was before my time.
Dog
I've
Patch
heard before.
USA. Dog Patch, and
No, I was still
the guy that had
in my father's eye.
the guy had a cloud over his head all the time, and it was always raining under him. Sunny everywhere else, but not for the one character.
Oh.
Cloud over his head.
How does that pertain to our gold brick here?
Well, the guys that got out of the gold space, just as the mirror, you know.
Oh, the cloud followed them into the cannabis space.
Yeah.
And because they moved over there, the sun came out on the gold space. Is that the analogy you're trying to
And I think they drink Cloudy Bay wine.
Cloudy Bay Chardonnay?
Yeah.
With suppositories on the side? Yeah, where's the suppository humor
Yeah, what's
coming
going
from?
on? Yes, I suppose.
You know,
I suppose.
delivery mechanisms are an interesting concept, and you know that there's a lot of companies in the cannabis space and in the gold
Yeah.
space where we're talking about delivery mechanisms, and ultimately both gold and cannabis are a delivery mechanism for value. And here we have also Bitcoin, which purports to be a delivery mechanism for value or a transport mechanism, whatever. But what do you think the significance is? So we've got gold trading at a 7-year high. Bitcoin has reversed from its all-time low, or not all-time, but recent low of 4,000 down from 20,000, traded up to 14.
Now it's back to sort of 11-ish.
Yeah, but still up there.
Yeah.
The S&P set an all-time record again.
Today.
Today. And so what does this mean, Ed? What does it all mean? All these things coming together. What does it mean?
listen,
It's convergence.
I'll tell you,
it's the convergence of the divergence.
There's a confluence of events.
A confluence of events?
Is it a convergence or a confluence?
Well, a confounding confluence
It's a
of
con,
divergent.
but we don't know if it's a fluent con or a vergent con.
Now, you're talking about the stock market in general, cannabis stocks, gold, or Bitcoin? Or all of the above?
I'd
Let's throw that
say
in there.
whenever there's, so, you know, like you have to believe in something. Like
Yes.
you have to believe in a currency, you have to believe
Yes,
in a
yes,
Bitcoin.
yes.
There's a bit of a perpetration going on, right?
Yeah. Tell me more.
Well, sit back. I'll tell you a story.
Would you agree with the assessment that human beings are susceptible to marketing?
Yeah, I think they've been fishermen for a long time, and you know there's a saying when you go play golf, and you meet your foursome.
Yes.
If you don't know who the fish are, you're the fish.
You to fish,
You the fish.
especially if they're all packing suppositories.
I mean, you know, it's very interesting. I just
See, now look at Galen Gold going by on the screen right here. A sponsor of ours, trading at 5.5 cents. These guys produce $10 million a year worth of gold. Well, now it's probably more like $12 million a year worth of gold.
Yeah.
And they can't catch a bid. How soon is it, in your opinion, until the gold juniors start reacting positively and reflecting the rise in the price of gold itself?
I think what's going to happen.
Okay, that's enough. Coming up next. Just kidding, Ed. What were you saying?
I think I better take that speed speaking course. Look.
Time is of the essence. We're down to an hour show now.
Next. So, mining companies are going to start making more money. Their cash flows are going to increase. They're going to say, well, what are we going to do with this? They're not going to pay tax and be happy with that. They're going to re-plow it back in. I think they're going to start buying up some of these cheap companies with great assets.
Okay.
So you watch for starting to see takeovers and then liquidity.
And is that what's going to drive some action into the juniors? A few of them get taken out, and suddenly they're all going to start.
Well, they start taking out, and when you made it pass.
So would now be the time to be buying junior golds if we were gold junior speculators?
Yeah, well, I've already done that. I've been buying it. I was a little early.
What did you tell me?
Early bird gets served. Well, I wanted to get all the cheap stock for myself. There's no cheap stock left.
That's a proper speculator. First, you position yourself, then you tell all your friends. Yeah. Boy, I haven't seen that in the stock market.
But something's changed in the gold pit, as you will.
The gold pit?
Yeah.
Somebody tossed in a bunch of suppositories, and now they're down in there.
I'm going to eat that gold bar, I think.
No, you can't eat gold, Ed. There's no
I can eat that one.
Let's save that for the end of the show.
Okie dokie.
So let's see. We also are talking to, in London last week, I spoke to George Cruz, who's a relatively famous rugby dude there. And here's the conversation.
What do you mean, relatively?
George Cruz joins me now. He's this co-founder of Force 545 CBD. Sorry, yeah. George, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
George, you've been a rugby player for 10 years. You came to know about CBD through personal issues. Tell me how you got started in 45 CBD and what's the idea behind it?
So, as a professional athlete who gets tested, WADA, World Anti-Doping Association, made CBD legal in 2018 in January. My other co-partner, had an injury and wanted to just look out for, more natural remedies. And in January 2018, he tried it, and a month later, I had an operation on my foot. And you talk to people in the change rooms, and you see what's going well for them, and I just wanted to try it. I found some benefits from it, and just wanted to, I guess, as a company, we just wanted to provide people who wanted to try CBD with a more natural kind of product.
Sure. Are you actually selling CBD products now?
We do sell CBD products. Yeah.
Okay. How do you make the CBD? Where do you get it? Where do you grow it?
Yeah, we get it raws from Slovakia, Croatia, and Amsterdam, and bring it over here where we put it into bottles.
Huh. So the import laws in the UK accommodate importation of CBD in concentrated form now?
In raws.
In raws.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's cool. So there's a ton of CBD available over here, I've noticed, because I spent my first few hours wandering into all the stores to see what the availability was, and it's like, well, these guys are way ahead of us in the CBD in Canada, because you have to access it through the medical regime or the recreational regime, but there's no way to buy CBD legally per se.
Yeah.
So it strikes me that is the UK market saturated already with a variety of CBD products that might drive down costs to the point where it's harder for others to stay in business?
I wouldn't say so. I think there's a lot of people currently jumping in, but at some point there's going to be regulation in terms of trying to tidy the market up, which would be a brilliant thing. It would be great for the ones who have come in with a more long-term approach of getting things properly tested, batch tested, and making sure that their concentrations of CBD are correct on what the packet actually says it is. There's a lot of people currently out there just in it for the short term. So we want to be a provider of CBD for people who genuinely want it, and targeting mainly the active crowd.
Sure. So I guess your affiliation in the pro sports world gives you a sort of captive audience.
Yeah. We've had hundreds of athletes message us. asking for product, and yeah, it's been massively exciting seeing seeing some reactions and the level of of people who are contacting us, Olympians and professional rugby players, throughout the league. There's people taking it, and throughout sport there's taking it.
Sure. Would you say that you've noticed any sort of effect by using CBD that you might consider a bit of a worry as it pertains to your performance on the field if you were to use it in close proximity to a day where you got to play?
I wouldn't. It's got a very good safety profile, as we all know, and it's something that I'd be happy to take the day of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you branch out into THC wellness products if those became legal in the UK context?
We would. We've got a broad spectrum for our athletes, and we've got a full spectrum for our for active people who want a full spectrum. But it's the market and the routes you can take are numerous, as you know. So it's something that is massively exciting me, and I'm. We come here today and speak to some unbelievably, inspirational people, and it's something which is, it's a movement which I guess on a business side, which is highly exciting, but also it's actually something which so many people care about, and then and making a big difference to their lives.
Sure. Okay, so where in the UK can consumers who want to buy 4-5 CBD?
So we've got it online at 45cbd.co.uk, and we're in 20 or 30 retails or gyms and things like that at the moment. But we'll be looking to get to the main ones pretty soon.
Cool. All right, George, well, that's a great intro to the company. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's talk about Aurora. Recently, your financials, you've more or less delivered on.
Here are the headlines moving markets today.
If you're lucky to buy it 3 days ago at 37 cents,
and I think it has a lot to do with some of these smaller names giving really.
Recreational cannabis is here. It's quite dry. So I'm going to eliminate the stocky bits.
I just wanted to let you guys all know that we are going to be cropping out on the Midas Letter cannabis crop at home. I'm going to take this moment to thank our sponsor, Halo Labs, trading on the NEO exchange under the symbol HALO. In some cases, you enter AQN as a suffix to get to that. Also trading in the US under symbol. Are we allowed to say the U.S. symbol? I don't think we are.
Well, it's still nothing's changed. It's just listed there. I don't know if it's
slope.
Slippery.
So Halo Canna is the website. Halo is our sponsor. We are going to be producing a lot of content for them, but we cultivated a relationship with Halo over the course of a year. And we don't ever have too many sponsors, and we try to pick the best ones that we can. And so Halo is one of the ones that falls under that umbrella. Boy, what's up with that? So expect to hear us talking a lot about Halo. They are trading under the symbol AGEEF on the OTCQX in the United States. So we'll be talking about them a lot. Anyways, also I wanted to look at the indexes. I wonder if Bruce Linton is happy about the fact that Canopy Growth actually ended up closing higher today, or it's not closed yet actually. It's up 1.62% to 53.34, despite the fact that they parted company. Intraday, looking at this chart here.
Is it near the highs of the day, or?
This is the intraday chart right here. So it started off in a steep sell-off, down to $50, below $50, 49.71, and then started to regain ground as the messaging went out that it's not the end of the world. And
wow, look at that.
But you'll notice all the volume happened in the morning, and then the crawling back all happened on lower volumes throughout the day. So not a lot of resistance in there.
Yeah. Well, look, it's bounced off there. I think the markets, the marijuana stocks. There's a lot of them that look like, and again, my concern is it's only July. I'd like to be getting in there into that September. I could feel a little breeze in the air at night. I can feel that old man winter.
Okay. Well, so here's the interesting thing. Looking at the large cap index here.
Yeah. It's up today.
Well, so we're in the summer doldrums, and basically we're looking at a 20% drift from 12,000 down to 10,000, or 22.5%.
20% drift.
Yeah. So since the onset of the sell in May, go away mentality, which has obviously taken effect rather strongly this year, losing 20% by the beginning of July. Do you think that's going to be 40% by the end of August?
Well, these things aren't that, they're not that linear. You can't,
right.
Like if it gets warmer throughout the day, sooner or later it starts getting colder, right?
That's no arguing with that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Gets lighter, then darker.
Taking a look at our indexes, the Midas Letter Large Cap Index is up just a little bit today as Canopy retraces, or rather recovers, some lost ground from this morning. Looking at the constituents of the index as a whole, it's Organogram who's delivered the best performance of the day, up 3.41% to close, or not close because we're not closed yet. I got to quit saying that. It's at 8.48 right now. Canopy growth at 53.47. That was me kicking my seat because I've got a cold and I can't sit still. Hexocorp gained 0.74%. It's now trading at 685. That's awfully close to where they announced the deal with Molson Coors. That was at 540 or 560.
Yeah, that was some while ago.
Yeah. Looking at the Canadian, the small cap index, down 1.75%. Big gainer, Green Growth Brands, up 7.19% to $3.13. I saw a post by our friend Todd Harrison down in New York, saying that he thought that Green Growth was a bit of a buy down here. And obviously he's got some influence because others have agreed with him. And look at them picking up that stock. Vivo Cannabis, now remember this is one that Barry Fishman took over, gained 6.45%. Chiron Life Sciences is up 5%, $2.31, our gold sponsor on the show for the last couple of months. Supreme Cannabis is up 2.65% to $2.31.
Wow.
Or no, sorry, that's $1.55 Supreme Cannabis. I'm losing my mind. Look at Charlotte's Web, still holding strong above $20 at $21.33, up 2.3% on the day. They put out I get their email every day, and they put out an interesting email questioning whether CBD was safe. And I'll just pull up that email.
Who's questioning whether it's safe?
Well, the email of the day from Charlotte's Web.
Was it did they originate the email, or is it somebody else?
Yeah, no, this is their daily email.
Oh, okay.
Is CBD oil safe for me? It's a question we hear often. The answer, generally speaking, is yes, but it pays to be picky with your CBD. In other words, what I think they're saying is avoid the suppositories. They might not be safe. Because here's one thing about those, Ed, and I don't want to dwell on scatological humor, but
right.
I mean, I've never had the occasion to experience a suppository. So I'm kind of like, the whole concept is like, I didn't even know they were still around, put it that way. But is a CBD suppository safe? Because how do you get rid of it? Like, do you have to actually wait for a bowel movement? What if it sort of takes a left turn or something when you're inserting it and it sets up residency in your bowel?
I don't know.
Like, geez.
Yeah.
That's a bit scary.
Pity.
Anyways, one of our conversations from London, England was with Patrick Morton. There's a nice London name for you, Patrick Morton. But Patrick Morton is from British Columbia, not British UK, Britain, UK.
Right.
Anyways, he's the CEO of a new company called Supreme, get there, ready? Are you ready?
Heights.
Heights. Supreme Heights. And what is Supreme Heights, you might wonder? It sounds like Supreme Cannabis, Supreme Heights. Well, you wouldn't be too far off. Let's let Patrick Morton tell us.
I'm here with Patrick Morton now. He's the CEO of Supreme Heights. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Patrick, let's start with an overview. What does Supreme Heights do?
Well, we're a brand new company, just announced this morning actually, focused on investing in health and wellness brands that combine CBD and other potential cannabinoids in Europe and the UK. Mm-hmm. We're backed by Supreme Cannabis. They're our largest shareholder and investor. And our concept is, let's find exciting new European companies who are in this industry for the right reasons, supporting communities, helping improve public health, health and wellness in general, and back early stage entrepreneurs with not just money, but also the technical know-how that has been built up within Supreme Cannabis in their kind of journey, becoming a premium brand in Canada, vertically integrated with, you know, some of the best product in the industry. We're going to bring some money into this sector in Europe and the UK, but like I say, also technical skills, the ability to source high-quality CBD and other cannabinoids,
right.
And help companies get from stage one to scaling up and like really go to the big time.
Sure. Okay. So that makes perfect sense. It's kind of like Supreme Cannabis's medical venture.
Well, I mean, I think we're kind of focusing more on the nutraceutical and health and wellness segment. I think the pharmaceutical medical segment of the cannabis industry is massively important and an exciting investment opportunity. But what we're kind of really keying in on is the plant-based health and wellness products that are consumable kind of over the counter without the need for a prescription, but help people on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. And so based in the UK?
Yeah.
And how many entrepreneurs are there out there doing what you're after?
Well, there's a bit of a rush happening in this part of the world, just as there has been in North America, as you know. I mean, by my count, in the UK alone, there's over 200 CBD-related companies. And our goal is to find the guys amongst that group, guys and gals, who are really focused on, like, we want to innovate, we want to bring quality products to the community, and we want to be here for the long haul. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, how do we slap a deal together, make some money, and go public, or, you know,
right.
sell it to the highest bidder?
Right.
The idea is, you know, people who are bootstrapping their way, have a personal reason to be in the industry, and are authentic and committed. So that's kind of our ethos.
Okay. And is your target group of potential acquisitions or investees or incubatees, are they restricted to London or Europe, or are you global in scope?
Well, we're based in London. I think the UK is a really exciting market. It's twice the size of Canada, for instance, and we're a few years behind in many areas, legislation being one, public awareness and the sophistication of the products on offer here are a few years behind what we've seen in Canada or the US. So there's a big catch-up play here to happen. And then right on our doorstep, you've got 300 million people in the European Union who are at various levels of sophistication with cannabis and CBD and the other cannabinoids. So for me, it's like home base is London. I live here. Our company's going to be based here. And I think it's our launch pad for the UK and the rest of Europe.
Is the objective from an investor's perspective, is this something that is going to become a publicly traded entity on its own, or do we invest in Supreme to participate in this?
I think this is going to be a completely separate company. Like I say, Supreme is our largest shareholder. I think we're going to be putting some capital into this company and raising some money from outside investors. But the monetization or liquidity strategy, we're keeping our options open. And I think it's possible this company could go public. But, you know, we're very cognizant of this is a crowded market in many ways, and we want to be demonstrating value. We want to be demonstrating that we have a track record and that we're creating value for investors before we entertain the idea of just going public willy-nilly.
Sure.
The guys at Supreme, are really high quality guys, credible in the industry with that track record. So I'm going to be begging, borrowing, and stealing some of their expertise. We want to establish a reputation here for adding value to our portfolio companies. And once we do that, call it on a year or 2 years from now, I think we'll be looking at strategies like potentially going public.
Okay, that's great, Patrick. Great introduction, and we'll wish you the best of luck and keep watching. Thanks for joining me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
If you like the show, you'll love our website. Visit us at www.midasletter.com for interviews with key CEOs, cannabis news, and to subscribe to our newsletter.
Going back to gold, Ed, they say that gold does not really deserve the value, like the critics say, because doesn't pay a dividend, and they say that you can't eat gold. Well, it depends on where you get your gold, I suppose, because I say you can eat gold.
Oh, wow.
And look, we have a gold bar, and a gold bar, and a gold bar. And this was a gift to us from the late Aaron Bick. So since we can't sell gold, we may as well eat it. But this is a hazelnut loaf.
Yeah. I like chocolate.
Try some.
All right. There you go.
There.
Oh.
So when they say you can't eat gold, depends where you get your gold. This gold can be eaten. What do you think? Bring on the gold?
It's very good. Well, what country would that come from?
Italy. All the good things come from Italy to eat.
How about France?
France too.
Yeah. I've been eyeing that bar now for quite a while.
Oh yeah? You wanted to eat it?
Well, I didn't know. I thought I wanted to steal it. I thought it was gold.
We're going to talk about my garden right now. Ed and I are going to go to our house and harvest it next week.
Yeah.
So you guys are all invited over.
Yeah, we're going
to chop it down, but unfortunately, Ed, there's only 2 plants left to chop down because, as you can see here, this is me this morning, and I'm examining the plants, determining whether I should chop it down or not.
Yes.
It's actually, make sure that everything, it's back on that other network, that's why. How about now? Okay, let's go that way.
Which way are you going?
Up, always up, never down. Where's the NDI gone now? Here we go. Well, what do you got? See it? There's me in my garden this morning.
Wow. Look at that. Only 2 plants left.
Yeah, but look at the size of these monster donkey buds.
Donkey buds.
Donkey buds. Let's run that one more time in case you missed it. Instant replay. Here I am, coming in. Oops, you can't see me. Clearly I'm attending the other plant over here.
You got that plant, that fan's rotating at a very low speed. I'm just...
But, so yeah, I'm going to shoot some footage of the hanging buds that I've trimmed up.
Yeah.
You and I are going to go and trim those other 2 plants down on the weekend.
Trim them down.
Yeah. So we'll be able to share that with our audience, and very special guests or very special viewers will actually be able to receive a complimentary Midas Letter hand-grown organic bud. How about that?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay, let's wrap up the show. We're going to take a look at some of the indexes here again.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Green Growth Bands is the big winner in the small cap space, and the Venture Index, the big winner, is the Organogram Holdings, followed by Metafarms. Oh, look at Metafarms. That's Actually reorganize that to Naturally Splendid Enterprises.
Look at this thing.
That's a penny stock. Vivo Cannabis up 6.54%. Sugar Bud Craft Growers up 5.8%. Chiron up 5%. And Organogram up 3.5%. Fluorotech, the makers of our spectrographic measurement device, 36 cents. They're going to need to raise some more money soon. Emerald Health Therapeutics, still way down there. Like, what happened to Emerald Health? Let's take a look at their chart. It's kind of interesting to me that their most recent press release today was that the government of Ontario is expanding retail cannabis store licenses in Canada's largest province. That would be Ontario. But look at that sell-off.
Wow.
Would you call that an abdication of faith on the behalf of investors or what?
Look at that.
I know. Like that's...
That was trading for around $4, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 372 back here, 385, 382, and now it's trading at 237. So kind of 40% down relative to the broader market at 10, 20%.
And how many shops are they're gonna allow now more shops in Ontario? Mm-hmm. Are they going to allow more, or they're just getting ready to open up?
They're just getting ready to open up.
Just
more
open up.
More stores. Have you been to any of the physical cannabis stores in Toronto?
Legal or otherwise?
Legal.
Negatory.
Really? Why not?
Because
I would think you'd be a dead ringer for a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, well, you think I'd look like? Do I look like a law-abiding citizen?
Not at all.
Look like maybe a
hooligan.
A hooligan from
soccer hooligan.
Eastern provinces. What do you like that little?
I'm really digging this chocolate.
You're gonna go for some.
You know what? I'd rather have chocolate than gold. I think that's what makes me the kind of fool I am.
Yeah. Really, chocolate gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short-term gratification over long-term wealth preservation.
Look at this. Afria, $8.99. Look at this. Aurora, $10. A lot of these companies
Aurora's really hanging in there at $10.
Yeah. But you notice the volatility is being sort of.
Let's take a look at Aurora's chart
wrung out
here.
You know, like
this is what I don't understand. Why? Okay, so Aurora peaked at $13.49 on the announcement of Nelson Peltz.
Right.
And has only lost, call it 23%.
Yeah. What did it peak at? 15? No, 13. So about 30%.
13.67.
25, 30%.
Yeah.
Wow.
25, 30%. So it's still doing worse than the large cap index, of which it is a constituent. So it's underperforming its peers.
Just see Kronos slide by there under 20 again.
Yeah.
Still way up there, but, certainly not up there if you paid 30. If you paid 30, you thought, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look at Kronos' chart. I was looking at the insider reports, and Altria was in there as a shareholder of Kronos, which they are typically, or they are, in fact, the biggest shareholder. Oh, down below $20 today, $19.89.
Yeah, I just saw that. Ooh.
Yeah, well, part two of the summer doldrums could set in. We could see, a further 20% retracement across the sector. Would not be inconsistent with what the summers have delivered in terms of shareholder experience in the cannabis sector.
In the cannabis sector.
Yeah.
In the cannabis sector.
Not on the cannabis sector. So tomorrow we're going to talk to, where's our tomorrow screen? What are we going to talk to tomorrow?
Tomorrow's screen will become much more apparent when we're there, when it becomes now screen. Tomorrow's screen will become the now screen.
You're right. Right.
And when that happens, it's no longer the tomorrow screen.
Who? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have a conversation with Magnane Milewski.
Oh, yeah.
He is the Deputy Prime Minister and Cabinet Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with him in London. We're going to have that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Matt Murphy from Chiron, the compliance chief of Chiron, who is now chairing or is a participant in the National Cannabis Roundtable, of which John Boehner is the chair.
Right.
And Mr. Muki from Artemis Venture Partners.
Costa Rica.
Hello?
No. Where's he from?
Costa Rica. Anyways, we'll be talking. Donald, what's the guy's name?
Yeah.
You had his lower third up there just a little while ago. Anyways, that ends our show today. We'll be back tomorrow with another live wire lineup, and we'll hopefully have some more interesting comments from Bruce Linton. We'll have Mark Zakulin is going to be here next week to weigh in on the discussion, and we will have our usual roster of fabulous guests. Thanks very much to our sponsor, Halo Labs.
Let's go.
There we go. HaloCanna.com is the URL. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.